So it's the president's job and duty. If the previous president opened the border, then he's going to use executive action to close the border. If a previous president instituted illegal diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, then he's going to end that. If a previous administration choked off and strangled and suffocated the supply of American energy, as he did, President Trump's going to come in and open it up, and now we have gas prices plummeting.
Trump and his little butt plugs have this idea that they're untouchable, especially Stephen Miller.
America is for Americans and Americans only.
Who, along with Tom Homan, are arguably the worst people in the world.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
But Miller was on Fox the other day and tried bullying Fox News anchor John Roberts, saying that Fox needs to fire its pollsters because, well, it hurts Trump's hiney.
You!
In what was an uncomfortable moment that played out on live TV, Miller said this.
Let's talk a little bit about successes and near successes and things you still have to work on in terms of the first 100 days. New Fox News poll shows that the border has been one of your big successes. The cross-border illegal traffic has been reduced by 96%. Illegal aliens reduced into this country reduced by 99.99%. On this Fox News poll, President Trump gets big marks on that, 55% approval. He's about even on immigration in total, but everything else, he's sort of underwater. And particularly on the economy, tariffs, and inflation, he's well underwater. You've still got some work to do in that front. A lot of people think that he's spending too much time on tariffs and not enough time on the economy and lowering prices. What do you say?
Well, I don't want to make things awkward for you, John, but it is our opinion that Fox News needs to fire its pollster. And I won't surprise you with that. I don't think you're surprised that I'm saying that. But the Fox News pollster has always been wrong about President Trump.
Okay, I got no feeling at all for Fox News and what these pustulant skin tags have lied about. Everything from COVID, which cost Americans hundreds of thousands of unnecessary deaths, or lying about the 2020 election, which resulted in January 6th and a constitutional crisis. But there have been some Fox hosts that have pushed back. For every Laura Ingraham and thumbface Hannity, there's the occasional Neil Cavuto.
Well, first of all, Mr. President, we don't work for you. I don't work for you. My job is to cover you, not fawn over you or rip you.
You know, Mike, I know and you do not politicize these things, but the Donald Trump thing in the market amazes me. When they're up, it's all because of him and looking forward to him. When they're down, it's all because the Democrats and how horrific they are. Yet some of our biggest point fall-offs, 3 of the biggest of the top 10, occurred during his administration. Now, a lot of those were in the COVID years. I get that. But, you know, you either own the markets or you don't. It does confuse me, but thank you.
And then there's Steve Doocy, who, too, has been known to push back.
With all due respect, the Republicans need better investigators because they've got a lot of circumstantial evidence, but they have not shown that Joe Biden profited personally or that he broke any rules.
But that is rare, and the damage that Fox has done to the electorate is substantial. They've allowed Trump to repeatedly lie, and when caught in it, they ignore it.
I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down.
So as Trump's first 100 days come to a close, the economy is in peril. What with Trump's asinine tariffs and deportations, it's in real trouble. And Miller, Trump's sock puppet, doesn't want to talk about the economy. He wants you to believe that Trump has saved America from Hispanic women and children, like the 2 kids with cancer, man titties, just deported. But Miller, just like Trump, will lie about anything.
But I want to touch on the border issue for a quick second, because this is so significant. The last 4 years was defined by this unceasing flow of illegal aliens across the border. I mean, how much did you cover it on Fox? How much was this an essential topic of the entire debate?
Bill Melugin lived there, basically, for 4 years.
And here we are 100 days in, and we have the lowest border crossings in American history. As you mentioned, only 3 people got in the last month. I think even you, if we're being honest, are surprised at just how quickly we went from an open border to a sealed border.
First of all, that's pretty funny. Only 3 people came across the border, and they know that. How? Because here's the truth, and this is from the conservative Cato Institute. During Biden's term, Border Patrol arrested an unprecedented number of immigrants who crossed illegally into the United States. 30% more than Trump will arrest over the next year based on Trump's own stats.
I had the best word.
Now, many Fox viewers believe Biden caused this increase in migration by reducing border enforcement. However, data obtained by the Cato Institute through the Freedom of Information Act challenges this narrative. In fact, the border crisis began before Biden took office and ended before he left.
It's embarrassing.
From his administration's first day in January 2021, Biden actually increased border enforcement. Arrests, detentions, and removals of border crossers all increased. The prevailing narrative that blames Biden overlooks the real cause of the crisis: America's robust labor market and bad immigration policies that incentivized illegal entries. However, Trump, not Biden, mostly started those policies. Biden eventually phased out some of them. He increased legal migration, and as the labor market cooled, the problem dissipated.
I think even you, if we're being honest, are surprised at just how quickly we went from an open border to a sealed border. That surely ranks as not only one of the greatest achievements of this president, but any president.
Did you hear that? Now, granted, Miller speaks pretty clearly, an amazing feat considering he has Trump's in his mouth, but it's Fox's duty to push back on those lies, which they rarely do.
All right, let me just, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but let me just come to one.
You can try, you won't succeed.
Let me just come to one item before we leave here, and that is executive order versus legislation. The president has, for all intents and purposes, sidelined Congress for the moment. The number of pieces of legislation that he has signed in the first 100 days, 5. Compare that to when he was the 45th president. He signed 30. Barack Obama, 14. Biden, 11. You have to go back to Bush 43 or JFK with 7 and 6 pieces of legislation in the first 100 days to get the low water mark. So he's got the low water mark since Franklin Roosevelt. When will he start working with Congress on getting legislation passed as opposed to doing everything by executive fiat?
Trump has shown already he will defy both Congress and the courts.
I want to be a dictator.
And when Ducey Jr. pushed back on whether they might try and arrest a justice on the Supreme Court, Propaganda Barbie didn't flinch.
You guys arrested a Milwaukee County circuit judge for allegedly helping illegal immigrants get away. As you guys look at other judges, would you ever arrest somebody higher up on the judicial food chain, like a federal judge or even a Supreme Court justice?
Well, that's a hypothetical question. Again, I defer you to the Department of Justice.
Well, that's because Miller, Bannon, Musk, and the rest of these circle jerks think the rules don't apply to them. And they use this bullshit about illegals to frighten everyone when the truth is this: undocumented people aren't committing the crime. You know who is?
And how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Trump pardoned 1,500 criminals who, after their release, assaulted and sexually abused children while possessing child porn and threatening the lives of anyone who opposes them. Now, who's the real threat? This guy or this guy? While Trump tries to bully Fox, conservatives are pushing back and they're pissed.
I think who I voted for would be the best to take care of Trump, because Trump is, I'm sorry to say, an ass.
And now, Fox is wondering what happens to them when Trump either strokes out or has to flee to Putin's arms. But whatever happens to Fox and Trump, it'll be fair.
It's not fair.
And definitely unbalanced.
Terrorizing our communities.
Goddamn right.
Are your leaders incompetent, unqualified people compromising national security?
Yes, yes, yes.
Eating the dogs.
They had what?
Bloated and fat and disgusting.
I like that.
We're a nation that speaks English.
Look, if something like that thing's start ugly.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
TikTok.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.